Hey everyone! If these stories keep you awake at night, please consider subscribing to the channel and tapping the notification bell. It truly means the world to me. Thank you for being here. Now let's begin. It was a quiet Friday evening, the kind that looks ordinary at first glance, yet carries an unshakable tension you can't quite explain. Outside, the city murmured softly. Streetlights threw faint golden streaks across our kitchen walls. We sat across from each other at our small, polished wooden table. The soft clink of glasses punctuated the silence. I gripped my wine glass tightly, the deep red catching the light, as if mocking the storm I was about to unleash. Months of unspoken grievances, subtle resentments, and hidden betrayals had built up inside me, like snow slowly piling toward an avalanche. I knew that tonight one drink, one carefully chosen sentence, could change everything. The first sip of wine burned slightly as it slid down my throat, a sharp reminder that the words I had rehearsed for hours carried weight far beyond the warmth of alcohol. He looked at me, expecting the usual polite exchange, the small talk that had once disguised the growing distance between us. But tonight was different. I had spent hours rehearsing every word, every pause, every breath, every lie he had told, every secret I had uncovered, every omission that had festered between us, led to this moment. Tonight, he would finally face it all. I felt a strange mix of nerves and resolve. One sentence would dismantle everything he thought he knew about our marriage. I leaned forward slightly, holding his gaze with steady, unflinching intensity. "I can't trust you anymore," I said slowly, deliberately, "because you've already given pieces of yourself away without me knowing." The words landed like a lightning bolt. His expression froze, confusion flashing across his face, quickly replaced by horror and disbelief. The air between us seemed to thicken, almost pause, as if the room itself recognized the weight of what I had just said. For the first time, he realized that the foundation of trust we had built over years was fractured, perhaps beyond repair. This was the point of no return. The silence that followed was nearly unbearable, broken only by the faint ticking of the wall clock and the low hum of the refrigerator. Every shared memory, every smile, every ordinary moment now felt shadowed by what had been hidden. He opened his mouth, stumbling, tried to explain, to justify, or to soften the blow, but my words had landed too cleanly. The truth behind every omission, every half-truth, every secret he had buried surfaced in one devastating instant. I watched his color drain from his face, his hands tightening around the wine glass until his knuckles turned white. Shock and heartbreak collided in his eyes as the meaning of my words settled heavily in his chest. He couldn't deny it. He couldn't escape the reality I had exposed. The trust that had once anchored our relationship now hung by the thinnest, most fragile thread, fraying under the force of a single sentence. Invisible cracks spread silently through the foundation of our marriage, leaving us both suspended in uncertainty. The conversation that followed was raw, tense, and unfiltered. We both exposed truths we had buried for years. I spoke about moments that had cut deeper than he ever realized, actions that had left lasting scars, an emotional distance he had slowly created between us. He admitted to omissions, mistakes, and choices he had kept hidden, hoping they would never resurface. Each revelation stretched a fragile bridge connecting us even thinner, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths we had avoided for far too long. His eyes widened with disbelief and sorrow, the full weight of our shared history pressing down as he absorbed every word. My sentence had not only exposed his lies, but also shattered the illusion of normalcy that had concealed the fractures in our marriage for so long. He tried to speak, but his words faltered, unable to close the gap that had opened between us. The emotional impact was overwhelming. For the first time, he seemed to understand that the trust he had taken for granted was gone, replaced by the undeniable truth of what I had said. The tension in the room was almost tangible, thick with heartbreak, vulnerability, and unspoken anger. Hours passed in intense, broken conversation. Each revelation revealed more cracks, more hidden truths, and more unresolved pain. We tried to navigate the space between us, but every attempt at reconciliation only highlighted how fragile and damaged the foundation had become. In the long stretches of silence, I realized that a single sentence could do more than communicate. It could unravel years of deception expose hidden realities, and force both of us to confront the raw, uncomfortable truth we had avoided for far too long. The evening had become a reckoning, an emotional collision that left no room for denial or escape. By the end of the night, the toll was clear. He sat across from me, stunned, shaken, and painfully aware of every truth I had revealed. The bonds that once held us together were fragile, worn thin by deception. Yet the truth stood exposed, undeniable and unavoidable. I felt a mix of relief and sorrow. Relief that honesty had finally broken through, and sorrow for the heartbreak and shattered trust left behind. Our marriage hung in the balance, suspended between despair and the faint possibility of a slow, painful rebuilding. That night marked a turning point. Not through shouting, not through anger, but through the quiet, undeniable power of one carefully chosen sentence. One drink, one calm moment, and one precise declaration had shattered trust, revealed hidden lies, and forced a confrontation with a reality neither of us could ignore. The marriage we once knew hung by a thread, irrevocably changed, yet clarified in a way that left no illusions. In that tense, transformative night, I understood a devastating truth. Words, when spoken with intention and precision, can change everything forever.